What's going on, everybody? It's Steady here with the countdown to the geeks.com. I got another fantastic interview for you. He's been in such captivating series as The Ozark, The Walking Dead, as well as The Handmaid's Tale, which is celebrating its final season. Please welcome one of the stars of The Big Bend, Jason Butler Harner. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I love a geek.
Absolutely. I appreciate you participating in this project, which highlights the rugged beauty of good old West Texas, my home state. Tell us about how you got involved with the Big Bend.
Most Texans haven't been to the Big Bend, I've learned, you
It's
know.
it's a tragedy. I don't understand it. It's so beautiful
So
over
your
there.
listeners will know what the Big Bend is, whereas for the rest of the country and the world, you have to explain it. So I'll save the time there. All I can say is, having been in Texas before and never San Antonio, I understood something more about Texas writ large. You know what I mean? I really appreciated something. I've only been to Dallas, Austin, Fort Worth, but it's so beautiful,
Mm.
brutal.
Yes.
Like it was hard. It's hard to imagine. And the film, I think, does a really great job. Paul Atkins, our DP, does a really good job helping capture it. There's no CGI. That is it. And they give you a long drive there at the beginning to just slow our brains down to try to go, this is how big it is. And it was wild. It was really wild. And we were there just because the only time they could do it in the middle of the summer. So
No.
it was hot, 122 average every day. And
Woo.
bare bone crew, everyone's stretched out. So it was hard to communicate with each other. You got kids that were passing out with heat exhaustion. You got scorpions, you got tarantulas, you got rattlesnakes, you got then when it rains, it floods. I didn't know that in the desert.
Mm.
You think, oh, it'll go in, but no, there's no waterway, so everything floods, and then you can't get to each other. So we lost a couple days. But it's beautiful. And there's a number of scenes, but there's one particular scene that I have up on that cliff that I'll never
Yes.
have again in my life, that you also get the expanse of it and the
Yeah.
color of it. Like, whoa. That's not a joke. That's real.
Yeah, bravo to your DP for all the just the grand scenes and the shots of good old Big Ben and Texas especially. It really puts into perspective um the what we go through to travel across this state, because everybody else you can get in and out of your state in a few
Oh,
hours.
wow. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
not Texas. It takes a day to get from one end to the other,
Yeah.
and that's how we actually talk about how far we travel by hours, not by miles, by hours,
Right,
folks.
right, right.
Tell us something
I will
good.
say that in LA, a lot of different kinds of companies,
Sure.
exterminators, whatever, they're all consolidating and their phone hubs are in Nashville or wherever the heck it is. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
So LA, when people say, well, it's only 3 miles away, and I have to tell them 3 miles at 4:30 in the afternoon is not a 15-minute drive. So it's sort of
amen.
funny that you're on the other end. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Say something nice about your co-star Virginia Cole.
She's the best. We had met in New York casually. She'd seen me in a play in Dallas when she was at school, and then I saw her in a play in New York. And it was a great mitzvah that she got to be my wife, and we dove in really quickly. And there's a lot of things in the movie that I'm genuinely proud of, and I tend to be kind of, a little self, whatever, discerning, whatever. And there's a couple scenes, particularly with Virginia, that are I'm very proud of. There's one with no lines that we just caught, made up on the fly because the sun was setting. It was beautiful, and Paul Atkins
Wow.
said, "Let's go over here." And we, said, as you do in an independent film, what do you think we might need that isn't in the film, or who knows? And so we just to do it. And so we just did that scene because they have a secret that they're navigating, and it's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. Um, yeah, so she's the best. Now, she was pregnant.
Oh no.
When we shot that film, and this thing happened while we were shooting it. They ultimately wrote it into the script that she was pregnant, or did she have fibroids or what? Because
Right.
you didn't, she wasn't showing She had twins, by the way. She
Oh
wasn't
wow.
acting at all. The very first scene that we shot was that sex scene. And
Yeah.
we said, let's just put this here also in case we need it. And this thing happened where the second week of shooting, all of a sudden, she was definitely showing. Like
Oh wow.
you couldn't
Couldn't
lie
hide it
about it.
anymore. Yeah.
Right. And so we sort of did some creative things, but so, testament to Brett, like let's actually this is cool. Let's write it in. So anyway, so we had a pretty uh, great experience. All of the things when you're doing an independent film are tough, but when you're out in the middle of the desert with limited any kind of communication or limited kind of good food or anything, it's like you're in it for the love, you know what I mean? And the experience and the story. So
Yeah, props to all of you, and especially you and Virginia. You guys had such great chemistry in this film. It was undeniable when watching it. So, kudos to you both, but also to the entire cast and crew. Now that I know you guys filmed in the summer, I have way more respect for you guys. If somebody would have asked me when's the best time to film
yeah,
in
yeah,
Big Ben, I would have said January. Do
yeah.
not go out there in the middle of the summer. But this is such a great sort of it's a great little story, self-contained, about a family trip out into West Texas that has its challenges, and things go in certain directions that you do not expect. And I want to ask you right now, I'm going to give you about 30 seconds here. I want you to sell this movie to our audience, which you can now find on Amazon, Apple, and YouTube. Jason, watch it, folks. Go check out The Big Ben.
You should go watch it because you're not going to see a movie like this. It's going to make you slow down for a second. It's got a number of different twists and turns, not only in terms of the plot, but in terms of style. There's a mythical element. Anybody in Texas knows that there's energy lines that run through that Texas, Marfa, the lights, all of that. Couple dynamics that are going to happen. There's an incredible Shaky Graves score, incredible.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
really good. You're going to see some wonderful performances. And the last thing I'll say about it is you'll see one of the last performances of a terrific actress named Erica Ash, who unfortunately is no longer with us, and she was fantastic in the film.
Thank you so much for doing that. And yes, our condolences to her family. I also want to ask you very last question, because you've worked in now the middle of the summer in Texas, and I know for a fact that you worked in Sonoy, Georgia, on The Walking
Okay.
Dead during the summer. Which
In
one
the
is more
pandemic,
brutal?
that was my pandemic job, and then Handmaids was the second one.
Oh my gosh, which summer is more brutal, in West Texas or Sonoy, Georgia, for The Walking Dead?
So you're basically choosing heat over humidity. That's what are you asking me? Uh, hmm. The bugs are definitely worse in Georgia.
Yes, they are.
The bugs are no joke. I mean, we shot Ozark in Georgia also,
Oh
but
wow.
but yeah, it's funny. The actor housing for a certain for guest stars or arcs, whatever, is in the town, whatever that
Mm,
town is that they had.
yeah.
Like there's houses there because it was a
Yep.
real development that then they bought. AMC bought because
Yep.
people weren't buying because nobody was living that far out, and now people are living that far out there.
They sure are.
Lived in those houses, and sometimes they shot in them, so there's like stuff like that. But it was I'm trying to think. It was very hot. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Just I'll let you go. But that we shot in the summer. It was pandemic.
Hmm.
And so those suits, those white suits that I gotta say I looked badass in. But
Sure
there's
did.
like a neoprene underlay, and they were, oh my God, they were so hot. But everybody had a sense of humor about it. But it was hot. And the thing about the thing about The Walking Dead is the dialogue scenes are fast, but the creepy scenes take forever to shoot because you're building up tension. You're building up, So that was a fascinating learning curve there. Part of the reason why I did that job also is because Josh Hamilton is a longtime friend, and when I got to know that I had like a fun scene with him, I was like,
Oh
yeah,
wow. Well, you were fantastic as Toby, and you were fantastic in this project. Go watch The Big Ben, now out on Amazon, Apple, as well as YouTube. Jason, thanks so much for your time.
thanks for having me.